Welcome to part 3 of this short course on how to roll trolls and stump Trumpists. I'm trying to keep it short, but this stuff isn't easy and it's important. I think the make or break question for humanity is how to humbly humble people who will say or do anything to avoid human humility. In part 1, I proposed a very simple diagnosis. Trumpists are herobots, addicted to an easy, mindless, robotic formula for feeling like eternal heroes. Ignore what words mean. If they sound positive, they're about me. If they sound negative, they're about my rivals. In part 2, I depicted how easy it is to get stumped dealing with such people. Because no matter what you say, they've got a robotic response that makes them feel triumphant and makes you feel bad. The imbalance is baked right in. Their herobotic formula keeps their consciences eternally reassured. If you have an active conscience, they can scold you until you back off. They win the war of contrition. You'll feel contrite long before they'll even feel the least pang of shame. They love strutting their inexhaustible herobotic confidence. They're like perpetual self-promotion machines. They always have a way to make you the fool that fuels their can't-fail formula. We got to fix that, and not through some kind of BS pep talk about how important it is to stand up to them, speak truth to power, go high when they go low, and fight and persevere. No, by a crucial reality check that will ground you in the decent human alternative to their theatrical herobotic BS. Now, you may be wondering if I'm overgeneralizing when I say that Trumpism is nothing more than the latest lifestyle brand to exploit the generic herobotic formula. If so, good. I also wonder if I'm overgeneralizing, and I wonder if I'm undergeneralizing. Wondering about opposites is going to be the essential grounding you need for rolling trolls and stumping Trumpists. Being equally concerned about opposite risks is how decent human beings handle the risky tightrope walk of life. And it's exactly what herobots will do anything to avoid. They close their eyes and pretend that it's not a tightrope. They pretend they know exactly where they're going and exactly how to get there. When they fall down or fall in a hole, they keep digging because they can always pretend the world is upside down, that falling is climbing, and that you're the one who's falling. I'll mix some metaphors here to drive home the image. We're all treading water in choppy seas, trying to keep from drowning in self-doubt. Herobots climb atop others to feel safe and claim heroism for doing so because the people they drown are losers who deserve to drown in self-doubt. Or try this. Life is driving a busy, crowded, winding road in the dark, watching out for opposite risks. Don't want to be too far one way or the other. A herobot comes careening through, eyes closed, hit and run, driving everyone off the road, and they've got their cop car megaphone blaring, shaming and blaming everyone they hit for not staying in their lane. Those are generalizations, and I know from experience, a Trumpist's first line of defense is to blare their moral police siren at you for generalizing. I once had an off-duty cop pull that on me at a potluck. It was 2015. He was a Trump supporter. I asked whether most of the cops on his squad were. He turned fierce, blasted me for stereotyping, and closed with "people like you should be ashamed." I mean hair trigger, maga, snowflake, fierce. It scared, but it didn't scare me. I now recognize it as a pattern. You get that all the time from Trumpists. I got it from one this morning. In general, don't generalize. Do you hear the hypocrisy of that rule? If so, what does it mean? Does it mean, no, really, you should never, ever generalize? Does it mean generalize all you want because in general, don't generalize is hypocritical bullshit? For Trumpists and herobots in general, it means the best of both. You get to scold people for generalizing when they challenge you, but you get to generalize all you want. Because MAGA is heroic, it gets to weaponize morality any way it wants to get what it wants. Others have to follow the law. MAGA doesn't. One of the perks of being heroes is a complete, exclusive double standard. When MAGA does it, it's good. When rivals do it, it's bad. Now, mind you, MAGA's Herobots don't have to think through this strategy to employ it. They ease into it and stick with it because it works. Remember, I want to be able to empathize with and not sympathize or engage in charity with such people. I really need to know my enemy. So let's empathize with that. And here, let me demonstrate. Lifelong, I've had to keep self-doubt away or else my confidence would vaporize, and that ain't good. Confidence breeds confidence. Self-doubt feeds on itself. So yeah, whenever I felt like someone was about to pick on me, I'd blurt whatever I'd heard other people say when they were cornered. If it worked, if it got folks to back off, I'd say it more, become a habit. Didn't matter to me what I said or what it meant. If I heard it working, I'd try it, and if it worked for me, I'd keep it. Some of the first blurts I copied were, I'm not a poopy, but you are. And I know you are, but what am I? I also learned that trick where you just repeat what others say. If they say, just stop it, you repeat, just stop it. Right back at them. If they said, you're a real jerk, just mirror it back at them. You're a real jerk. If they say, I'm not bad, you are, parrot it and back at them. I'm not bad, you are. Keep that up and they'll back off. I was doing that on my own, but then I found some people who were like me, same lifestyle and blurts. We started doing it together like a brat blurt club. We copy each other's blurts. We swap ways to swat away challenges to our confidence. And it made us feel really heroic. Most of what we blurt is still basically, I know you are, but what am I? But we've collected more grown-up sounding ways to say it. I say stop projecting, or no, you look in the mirror. I really like, I don't have to listen to you because you used an ad hominem attack. That makes me sound really grown up. And it's still basically, I know you are, but what am I? It's like I don't have to listen to anyone who accuses me of not listening. See, that's the whole point. One reason I don't think about what words means is that they trigger my self-doubt. I've got to have robotic ways to shut them down before I even hear them. I've got to have ways to cancel the noise before I hear it, which is why I never feel threatened anymore. See, I can always tell what I'm going to be accused of. It's always the same stuff. So I accuse them first. That way, when they accuse me, I can say, no, you're projecting. You're just being defensive. I already said you were, so what am I? I make people nauseous in a hall of mirrors. If they keep trying to corner me, I say they started a pissing match. One way or another, they give up, and I prove heroic yet again. It pisses folks off that I do that, but then so what? That never bothers me because I know why it's okay for me to do it. Not just okay, but heroic. It's my lifestyle brand. It justifies it. My lifestyle, MAGA in this case, proves I'm one of the good guys. No matter what, I'm always serving the highest purpose, whatever it is. If I have to be cunning, it's always for the highest purpose. People say you should just look at yourself. I just ape it right back at them. No, you should just take a good look at yourself. Besides, I am taking a good look at myself. I'm looking at my good, ideal self, the hero I turned out to be, the hero I really am. And if anyone dares challenge me, go ahead, because I got mad debating skills. I'll beat you every time. I'm both my ideal self and my nastiest defender. I'm genius and goon, saint and gangster, king and martyred victim. Whatever makes me appear right, righteous and mighty, and others appear weak, evil, and wrong. What does it all mean? I don't know or care. It means I win. I've been living doubt-free. That's what counts. I'll wear any costume to feel like the hero, and it's all done by aping whatever works. My genius is ignoring what words and rules mean so I can always bend them in my favor. If it's good, it's about me. If it's bad, it's about my rivals. And if it's bad about me, it's actually good. And if it's good about my rivals, it's actually bad. Basically, heads I win, tails you lose, and if you don't like it, tails I win, heads you lose. The point is you can't win, and I can only win. And I deserve to win because you're a loser. That's hypocrisy, a denied exclusive double standard. It just pulls out its butt whatever absolute moral law makes it feel heroic at the moment, and otherwise ignores it. For example, your kind shouldn't generalize about my kind. You libtards shouldn't name call. You evil people shouldn't judge. Irony is the opposite of hypocrisy. It's admitting to double standards and trying to get them right, not over or under generalizing, over or under judging, over or under name calling. It's the equanimity of knowing life is a balancing act and watching out for excesses on opposite sides. It's the brave and humble alternative to pretending you're the hero who has already solved reality. It's heroic but with a wink because it admits to its own egotistical double standard. An ironist is a jester brave enough to make fun of his or her own pride. See, you can't out-hero a herobot. You can't out-moralize a robotic moralizer. You're going to have to try something else. In part 4, I'll show you irony is going to be your superpower in stumping Trumpists or Herobots of any kind, because remember, it's got nothing to do with what they claim to believe so strongly it trumps all other considerations. That's just their lifestyle brand ornamentation, their cover story. I'll go so far as to generalize that far-right Trumpism and far-left communism rely on the same mindless herobotic formula. Is that an overgeneralization, an undergeneralization? My ironic equanimity comes of watching out for such opposite excesses. World are into as much raw introspection about the human condition as I am. And if you're one of them, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And that's another thing. I'm for hire. I do strategic consulting on dealing with life's tough judgment calls and dealing with total jerks. My email's down below. Get in touch for a free sample session. Thanks.